Silent Spring about the negative impact pesticides have on ecosystems. The book includes the harmful effects it could have on humans, such as cancer and other health problems. Next, we have Barbara McClintock. Keeps exiting out. Barbara McClintock came from a poor family who pushed her to get married, but instead she attended Cornell's College of Agriculture in 1919 and devoted her life to research. I thought that was interesting, and they said in my research that I read, the sources had said that they were trying to make her get married because the family was poor, and she decided to go against their wishes, and her dad actually supported her in becoming a scientist instead. She studied corn's hereditary characteristics and how genes are passed down through generations. Her most major discovery was in the 1940s and 1950s when she proved that genetic elements can sometimes change position on a chromosome, causing genes around it to become active or inactive. McClintock received the Nobel Prize in psychology or medicine in 1983 for her findings. This discovery impacts the way genetics are viewed today. Next, we have Katherine Johnson from 1918 to 2020. Katherine Johnson was handpicked to be one of the first 3 Black students to integrate West Virginia's graduate schools. She was excellent at math at a young age and began to develop a passion for science. After Sputnik in 1957, she provided some of the math for the 1958 document Notes on Space Technology. Computers began taking over tedious calculations, and the new communications network was linking tracking stations around the world to IBM computers in Washington. Astronauts in Glenn's Friendship 7 mission were weary of the new technology, so they had Katherine calculate everything by hand before trusting that the information was accurate and safe. And this source was from the NASA website, and in it, she had written a little bit about the work she did and was talking about how they were concerned about the computer, and she remembers the men around her saying if her calculations matched the computer calculations, then we're right, and then they trusted the astronauts to go up. She helped sync Project Apollo lunar module with Lunar Orbiting Command and Service module. At age 97, when Katherine was 97, President Barack Obama awarded her the Presidential Medal of Freedom, America's highest civilian honor. Next, we have Rosalind Franklin from 1920 to 1858. Rosalind is best known for her X-ray diffraction images of DNA. This led to the discovery of the DNA double helix. Franklin's work was showed to Watson and Crick, and they used her work to claim they had discovered the DNA double helix. Later, unpublished paperwork showed that Franklin's research pointed to DNA double helix before Watson and Crick's discovery. After finishing DNA research, Franklin researched and pioneered work with tobacco mosaic and polioviruses. I know we had talked about in class some of the kind of behind-the-scenes work that Franklin had done, and then Watson and Crick came with something very similar that they claimed to be their own. Next is Elizabeth Blackburn, and from 1948 to present. Elizabeth was born in 1948 in Tasmania and was the child of 2 daughters. She earned her master's degree in biochemistry at the University of Melbourne in the early 1970s. She married John Sadet in 1975 and began studying pond scum in labs at Yale University. She began studying telomeres in a single-cell organisms. Telomeres are on the end strand of DNA. This research of telomeres led to research of how cells balance the amount of telomeres. Telomere overactivity can lead to cancer, and underactivity can cause cell death. She began to study telomeres of mothers whose children had chronic diseases, dementia patients, and those with early trauma. She concluded that the individuals who had been under the most stress had the shortest telomeres. Blackburn received the Nobel Prize in Physiology or Medicine in 2009. And I said this is still really relevant today because her research led to the question about how stress can impact healthy cells, along with strategies that can be used to decrease stress and improve one's health, such as exercise, diet, and mindfulness. Our next scientist is May